why is it important that we actually take men's mental health more seriously?
One of the things, Robbie, that I've realized being in the field of psychotherapy and mental health for over a decade and a half is that it's not something that too much attention is paid to. It's almost like it's something that's on the back burner. And being in Fort McMurray, I noticed that there's a huge blow up as it relates to substance use, addictions. More and more men are really trying to find themselves. The divorce rate has escalated. And so we find that men are not really taking the time to acknowledge that my mental health is out of sync and I need help. So I've taken on the role to say, hey, you know what, guys? One of the things that I think is missing that I'm trying to provide is a safe space, right? A lot of men are not addressing their mental health because they're not a safe space. There's that fear of judgment. There's that fear that, hey, if I come out and say I need help, I'm weak, I'm not man enough. So more men choose to isolate and do unhealthy things, excessive drug use and alcohol and womanizing and pornography and, all of these things are as a result of unaddressed mental health, or because sometimes some men, they just feel like, hey, this is the masculine thing to do. So this is what men do to deal with their issues. They don't talk about it because if they do, it's not the best thing.
What do you think is happening to society, to men and boys right now? Because there seems to be kind of a push, against men to be masculine or to hang out or be men. How do we kind of work on that?
It's a good question, Robbie. The piece about it is most of us as men, we were taught a wrong example of what it means to be a man. Either it came from our mentors or dads. Some of us grew up in single homes, and exposure to what it looks like to be a man came from a single mom who herself is not a man, right? And so more and more men have sort of taken on this role of fulfilling the societal expectation. This is how you're supposed to be as a man versus who you really are. So many of us as men, we have lost sight of being our authentic selves because we're so busy trying to match up to the societal expectations of, hey, when you are a man, these are things that you're supposed to do, and if you're not doing that, you're not meeting the mark. So our men and boys, they really struggle to find men who are in touch with, I want to say, their masculine and also their feminine side, where they're able to feel, they're able to acknowledge emotions, they're able to ask for help, they're able to admit that, hey, guess what, man? Things are crappy right now, I need help and I can't do it by myself.
What is this? You have a big mental health thing coming up. What is that?
Yeah, so every year, for the past 4 years, this is going to be a 5th year, we do what we call a Men's Mental Health Awareness March. And this march is to bring more awareness to the community that our men and boys, they're struggling. They're boys in high school, they're struggling. There are men who work in the oil sands, they're struggling. Scary piece, not scary, but also guys who are CEOs and managers and directors, they're struggling, but they're not recognizing it. So the Men's Mental Health Awareness March that we do here in town is to bring more awareness to that. And this year we're celebrating our 5th year. And what we're doing as a part of that celebration, we're having a men's conference on June the 5th. That's going to be at the Merit Hotel, where we're catering for over 100 men. It's going to be an evening of music and food, and we're going to have speakers talking to the men about, hey, guess what? Your mental health is your responsibility. Stop denying it, stop hiding it, stop pretending, stop thinking that you're immune to it. Let's bring everything to the table and address it. So that's what we're doing.
How do you find that you're received in Fort McMurray?
Do you know, Robbie, at first when I started, it was a bit iffy. Yeah. Because my first year doing the Men's Mental Health March, I maybe had 15 persons walking with me downtown Fort McMurray. Yeah. And that has grown now to last year where I've had like 200 persons. I've had more sponsorship in the community. So I find that the receptivity is huge now compared to back then. And I find that more men are coming out of the woodwork now than before. I'm getting calls, I'm getting emails, I'm getting messages on my Facebook, on my Instagram pages, just to say, hey, I want to chat to you, when can we meet? So I find that more and more men are really starting to reach out and say, hey, dude, let's chat. So it's grown.
How do people reach out? And if they want to take part in this march, what's involved?
So there are so many different avenues to reach out. Number one is persons can become a part of the tribe of men who are passionate about mental health. So persons can become sponsors of the event in several different ways. They can be a sponsor. We do produce merchandise for companies that highlights their logos and stuff on the march. The persons can sponsor it by say, hey, I want to be a part of the catering, the venue, the broadcasting, the marketing, you name it, So there are so many different ways that persons can be a part of it. And this year, for example, the banquet that we recommend for the men, the conference, it's like a minimum amount of donation, and the plan is to donate a portion of those donations to the food bank, because we know that here in town the food bank is in need of that. So that's one of the plans that we have for this year, celebrating year 5. And they can reach me xyspark.org. They can reach me by my website. I'm all over social media, so XR Spark on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok.